Nowadays, I just watch movies because I hear it's bad and I'm like, I kind of want to see how bad it is. Damsel. I would give a spoiler warning, but the whole movie is just an extended version of the trailer. ELODIE, played by Millie Bobby Brown, gets married into a royal family. They have this deal going on with this dragon that lives on the island that their kingdom is located on. Because of something that happened in the past, they now have to sacrifice 3 women from their family, or 3 daughters, to keep their kingdom safe. ELODIE doesn't know, but she's the sacrifice. And so she gets thrown down into the dragon cave, does a 180 flip and becomes a sword fighter / dragon slayer, befriends the dragon and gets revenge on the royal family. And that is the whole story. It sounds like it could have been a good idea, but I think they were so focused on the girl boss agenda that they forgot to make any of the other characters make any sense. Every important character is female. There are men in this movie, but they do not do anything. The founder of this kingdom, we never find out why he decided to go and kill the dragon's babies. I mean, this dragon is the last of her kind. I don't know if their goal was to slay the dragon or if they were just there to kill the babies, but they killed the babies. The dragon's angry. She melts all of his men with her flames. The king surrenders and it's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, have mercy. This dragon is actually a special dragon because she talks. She seems reasonable. She makes a deal with the king. She also said something along the lines of, death is not a harsh enough punishment for you. You're gonna have to see your legacy suffer every couple years. You gotta sacrifice 3 of your daughters for the rest of eternity. He agrees on that deal. But the king, he's evil, I guess. Instead of actually sacrificing his own daughters, he decides to trick the dragon in that he'll make his sons marry random girls from across the world, and then they'll like mix blood by just cutting their hands and like touching each other. That just seems unsanitary. That does not seem like you would actually mix blood. But anyways, by doing that, they trick the dragon into thinking that these girls from other families are actually part of the royal bloodline. So they just sacrifice random girls to the dragon. And this has been going on for like a century or however long. So ELODIE, main character, ends up in one of these situations. I guess she's also a princess. Her dad also is the lord of a group of people. They're like really poor for some reason and they need money. So when they got the letter from the royal family, I guess the royal family likes to target these families in need because they will trade a lot of money for the daughters. So the dad agrees to marry the daughter, ELODIE, off to the prince. Her dad's like really into this because he's like, oh, we need money to feed our people and whatnot. ELODIE doesn't know that she's going to be a sacrifice. Her dad eventually finds out because the queen tells him, but he decides to trade her anyways because he really needs the money. The queen, she's just evil for no good reason. She seems to care way too much about this whole tradition of sacrificing women. The king is standing there. He's also in this. I don't know why he's in the movie. I don't think he has a single line. He just stands there. And then the stepmother. These characters are freaking conflicting. ELODIE, we never really find out what happened to her real mom, but it's evident that she was much closer to her real mom and she's not that close with the stepmom. The stepmom is not even the same race. So at first I was like, ELODIE doesn't seem biracial. But then she calls the stepmom stepmother. Oh, okay. That makes it clear. I'm glad you called her stepmother, else I would have been confused. But I'm just like, who calls their stepmother stepmother? Okay, maybe they do. But anyways, she doesn't seem very close to the stepmother. Okay, there are scenes where she's like, yeah, she's kind of insufferable, blah, blah, blah. I don't like her. But then the stepmother is actually more concerned about her well-being than the dad is. The dad traded her for money, but the stepmother, she didn't even know all the details. When she found out that the royal family was kind of sketchy, she was really worried. She's like, oh my god, ELODIE, you don't have to go through with this marriage if you don't want to. I don't trust these people. ELODIE doesn't really do anything about it, and she ends up marrying the prince. And the prince, oh my god, the prince. He pretends to kind of, get along with her or whatever, and they're talking about, oh, my dream is to travel the world. And then she's like, yeah, maybe one day we can do it together. They're like forming this sort of connection. In the trailer, you already see him throwing her off a cliff before he throws her down. He's like sorry about it. And I'm like, oh, is he that sorry though? I don't think he is because he didn't do anything. The whole ritual is just really dumb. They mix blood. I don't understand how the dragon would even know you were of royal blood, unless royal blood has a different scent from like regular blood, which I guess it's possible. Like the dragon could have like really heightened sensitivities to smell, but again, there's a scene later on, she's like trying to chase ELODIE down and she can't pinpoint the source of the scent, even though she's like, I can smell you're here. Yeah, why can't you just go to where the smell is more concentrated? After she's thrown down into the cave, she manages to kind of survive this, even though the dragon's hunting her down in the cave, breathing fire everywhere. She gets burned a few times. But in this cave, there's also this weird glowy blue worm thing that has the ability to heal your burn wounds, which made absolutely no sense, but was just very convenient for her to heal herself. Running around the cave, crawling around. Honestly, the cave part was kind of scary when she was crawling around. It kind of reminded me of that. I don't know if anyone has heard of that one guy story where you go like cave crawling, cave hunting, cave exploring, and you kind of get stuck. That's really scary, but at least she doesn't get stuck. She finds a wall where all the previous girls that have passed have like carved their names into the walls. And apparently there's also a map carved into the cave walls in which she finds a way to exit. So whoever found the exit went back in and drew the map. What the heck? There's like this wall full of crystals. It's incredible, but she ends up climbing up to the top and then she gets out to the opening and it's like the side of a mountain and there's no way for her to go down. But she sees that people have come to the cave and it turns out to be her dad. So her dad sort of regrets selling her off to the royal family. He thought he could live with it, but apparently 12 hours later, he's like, nope, I can't live with this decision. So I'm going to go back and save her. Okay, she goes back into the cave and then she's like, oh my God, it's my dad. But she's like hiding because she doesn't want the dragon to get her. And the dragon's sort of using the dad, try to lure her out. The dad's kind of apologizing. I was like, oh, so he's not like that evil. He's kind of actually like a good person. She doesn't even do anything. She just stays behind the pillar. And then the dragon eventually just kills him. And she still doesn't do anything. So I'm just like, was she close to her dad or was she not? Did she forgive him or did she not? Because at the end, when he's laying there bleeding out, she just kisses his forehead or something and then just leaves. I thought there was supposed to be some sort of resolution to that father-daughter conflict, but there was none of that. This was not a father-daughter story. Okay, fine. It's all about women in this. Let's forget about the guy. Let's forget about the dad. He didn't even need to be in this. It could have been the stepmom that was evil and sold her off. I don't know why the dad was there, to be honest. I don't know. They could have made it for some good reason, but they didn't. And the dragon is still trying to hunt her down. She's in this fit of rage. The royal family can see the rage because there's flames up in the mountains. They're like, oh no, it's that girl, ELODIE. She messed this all up for us. They get her little sister. Okay, so she has a little sister too. Let's just sacrifice her little sister in her place. They go through that ritual again, blood mixing. They throw the sister down into the cave and then the dragon finds the sister and then tries to use the sister to lure ELODIE out. Eventually, the dragon gets to her, but then she becomes like this ultimate sword fighter. She's able to fend off the dragon, even though I'm just like, so many have perished beneath the dragon. And now ELODIE is able to slay the dragon. She is now a dragon slayer. She makes the dragon breathe fire. And then she runs out of the way last minute. The fire hits the wall, the rock, reflects back to the dragon, and then the dragon gets burned by her own flames. How is the dragon's skin not resistant to its own flame? It comes out of the body. How can your internal organs survive that, but your skin on the outside cannot? The dragon's all injured, burned, laying there and being like, okay, you can just finish me off now. And then ELODIE's like, no, I have to tell you the truth. All of these girls that you've been killing, none of us are actually from the royal family. They've been lying to you. And then the dragon just takes her word for it. And then she takes the magical blue glowy worms and uses them to heal the dragon. And now they have this friendship bond, whatever you want to call it. She walks back into the kingdom. Dragon comes and then just breathes flames on the royal family. And the queen just stands there. Everyone just stands there as they get burned in the flames. And the queen's just like, no! Like that witch from The Wizard of Oz when she's melting. Yeah, this queen just melts. Oh, okay. Okay. Dragon eventually at the end just kind of, I guess they go together. I guess they're like best buddies now. That was the movie. I think it could have worked, but I don't think they were focused on the right thing. What story were they even trying to tell? What message are they trying to send? We don't need men. I also didn't really understand why the ancestral king, I don't even know what to call him. He's just the king. None of these characters, oh my God. Besides Henry? Do any of the male characters even have names? I don't know. If the dragon already resided on this island, and if you were really scared of the dragon, like, why would you build your kingdom on that island? And then it's like, if the dragon didn't provoke you, why are you killing her babies? Potentially, you could be scared, but if you're scared, then why not just move your kingdom? Okay, you don't have to move just because you're scared, but you've already established that you cannot slay this dragon. Like, you're not good enough. You brought your men. You brought, like, 10 or 15 of your men and they all went down in a few seconds. So I'm like, clearly you do not have the ability to get rid of the dragon, so just move your village. And he decided to just sacrifice random women. And then how are these random women just getting sacrificed and their families apparently don't give an F? Like, it's been happening for years. They just disappear and no one questions anything. Until ELODIE came along. So her dad was good because none of the other girls' dads ever even thought of coming back and saving their daughter. But then she didn't even try to save him. I thought she was gonna rush out and be like, no, dragon, don't kill my dad. But she didn't even do that. She just hides there. And then the dragon. So I'm like, oh, this is not a father-daughter story. The focus of this story is that ELODIE was a girl boss. That was the only thing they focused on. And they spent so much time focusing on that. Nothing else was hashed out. And I feel like that's an issue with a lot of movies nowadays. When you have a female heroine, ELODIE is just another one of those.